This is DJ the Prodigy Pen, and you're listening to the Ringside Report. Hey, this is Cain Velasquez, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio. This is Chuck Liddell, and you're listening to the Ringside Report.
Hi, he's Vanderlei the Ex-Murder Silva, and you're listening Ringside Report Radio.
This is Tito Ortiz, the People's Champ, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Uriah Faber, the California Kid, and you're listening to the Ringside Report.
This is Randy, the Natural Couture, and you're listening to the Ringside Report.
Hi, this is Vitor Belfort, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Chael Sonnen, and you are listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Jacques St-Pierre, and welcome to Ringside Report Radio.
Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hey.
All right, welcome to the program. It is Ringside Report Radio. I'm Dave Simon. Fred Garcia is here. We are live. AJ DeLesio is also here.
Bonjour.
Uh-huh.
Dave's upset.
Yeah, I'm already not happy with AJ. We start the show off.
What's new, man? That's always the thing.
What is new? Marco Muscle's in the house. I'm always pleased with him, my main man. Marco, you were with us last night at the TKO event. We saw some excellent mixed martial arts. In Montreal. Yes, we did. We had some fights. Yeah, where are you, Marco?
I'm over here. Where are you?
Yeah, I'm here. You see me.
It was very... Shout out to James
Mancini picking up a nice victory last night.
Unfortunate loss for Yoni.
Yeah, Yoni Sherbatov coming out. A setback there against Malcolm Gordon.
Yes, it's a setback, but again, are we going to dive right into this, or are we going to, just... talk a little bit.
The show has begun, AJ.
All right, because you know what I'm going to say. Look, it was a fantastic card. There's no doubt about it.
Just let AJ dive into it.
Let me dive.
He wants to.
I want to dive into it, man.
I know he wants to dive into it.
Lather me with butter, man. I'm going in.
The problem is, though, with AJ here,
Dave is still upset.
You're a fanboy, right?
What do you mean a fanboy? I'm an MMA fan, yes.
Yeah, you're an MMA fan of certain fighters. You're not a fan
really.
of
I love everyone who fights.
You're not
as long as they fight respectfully.
Sure you are.
As long as they're not on any EPO or whatever it's called now.
You don't know what anything.
Listen, Dave, I'm going to tell you what I know. One thing is this.
AJ,
is that Yoni's
you're
fight...
a fan of certain fighters. You're not a fan of the sport necessarily
what?
Fred and I.
No. You
you're
guys don't know what you're talking
about. Certain fighters in particular, right?
No, not at all. And, I like all the fighters, but I'm going to tell you one thing with the Yoni fight last night, which was a fantastic fight. I think it was 92 seconds of the most exciting MMA I've seen in a long time. And Muscles can agree. You can agree. The fans, everybody was up on their feet, Fred. Everybody was up, and we were all freaking out. And the thing is, it's unfortunate because Yoni was definitely taking the fight right there. He knocked down Malcolm.
Fanboy.
Listen, Marco.
It was unfortunate.
Marco, am I right? Speak up, man.
No.
Speak
AJ,
up.
You are picking a side.
I'm not picking a side. Listen.
Be impartial.
Listen, the fans who weren't there to see
giving some credit to Malcolm?
Malcolm is one resilient guy. There's no doubt about it. But with the kick,
more than resilient.
He
just tapped two very good fighters.
He didn't tap, but. Yeah, he did. You're right.
Tapped Yoni.
Yeah, but I'm just saying is with the kick by Yoni on Malcolm, took him down, and the barrage of punches that Yoni did, on the body punches, I mean, it was beautiful. It was a masterpiece. But what happened here, what you guys don't realize is that, and Dave did admit it, we saw it at one point when Malcolm was going to take down Yoni at the center of the ring. We saw he screamed. He obviously was in pain.
Out in pain. Something happened on the takedown.
Exactly, and we thought it was his shoulder and whatnot, but some people confirmed to me that it was his knee that went out.
Right.
So that's the end of a fight, and it's unfortunate because if that fight would have went the distance, it could have been one of the most exciting fights.
And
listen, Dave. Let's be honest.
Cool, and I get it, and I like Yoni too.
But
hang on.
Listen, we can talk about.
Hang on, AJ.
Yeah, go ahead.
I like Yoni. He's been on the show a couple of times. He's a good guy.
Absolutely.
He's a great fighter, okay? But it didn't go his way last night. And for you to come here and start making excuses
There's
for Yoni
no excuses.
is
It's an injury.
the reason why the president of the company, Stéphane Patry, last week on this very show called you a fanboy.
Whoa, first of all, I said we were good-looking guys. That's what you forgot.
Also, our good buddy Glenn McKenzie, who was listening last week.
Glenn is the biggest fanboy around.
Look, I'm sure Glenn is listening
now. Of course,
now.
Gotta you know what I'm talking about.
He said that you last week were such a fanboy, you were hard to listen to.
Me and
so if you're so hard to listen to, AJ, I have to think about the Ringside Report Radio universe, and I have to start thinking about AJ's role on the show if he's going to be a partial analyst and not really an analyst, just a fanboy.
No, listen to this, Dave. I'm telling you the details, and you're missing out the details because if people did not see that fight, they missed what was an awesome opportunity for Yoni to take the belt. Unfortunately, he lost. He tore his knee, and we can go back as far as Pat Cote when he fought Anderson Silva, who took him to 3 rounds, and Pat Cote's knee popped out. He was the first guy to take Silva to 3 rounds, and you never know what's going to happen.
In AJ's mind, had Pat's knee not blown out,
right,
Pat would have defeated Anderson Silva.
Anything is possible, right?
That's AJ's mind.
Listen,
winning up
look,
to
I'm going to tell you this.
Because Pat Cote,
right,
like Yoni Sherbatov, trains at BTT Canada
not at all.
With AJ.
You guys, you know what? You guys are BTT haters, but the truth of the matter is,
you're just
now,
a fanboy.
BTT guys are champions. And from
AJ,
in and out.
Silence.
Listen.
I could bring up another
gym
to show how much of a love you have to BTT by mentioning other gyms where you definitely don't have the same love.
Let's not go
But
there.
I'm not going to do that
Let's
to
not
you.
go
Hey,
there.
Listen, man. I'm AJ. I love everybody who does mixed martial arts.
It would be good if you could admit that you are partial.
Not at all.
To certain guys.
No, I'm not partial.
Okay, well, I'm looking at them
as fans.
Sure.
But I'm going to tell you this.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking at it as a fan
as the fans,
of them.
As the fans that are out watching, other than us.
What about Malcolm Gordon fans?
He was fantastic, and that's what I was saying. He was very resilient.
Camp.
He comes from an awesome camp. The thing is that fight was an unfortunate way for Yoni to lose it. Hey, listen, when you tear a knee, man, that's unfortunate.
Look,
it's not like
it wasn't
it happens.
anybody else between Mancini and Sherbatov.
No, that's it.
Yeah, that's back-to-back very good fighters that he submitted.
I agree with that. But he
deserves.
submitted a guy who just lost his knee, pretty much. And I agree with Muscles. I mean, between James and Yoni fighting Malcolm,
that's the thing.
Listen,
sure.
I think the most important thing that came out of this fight is that it was so exciting for the fans, and that's what TKO needs. And not only the Yoni fight, but the whole card was awesome, man. Come on,
what
guys.
I'm really happy about is that tomorrow night is UFC 236. We're going to preview that card in a little bit here. We have Max Holloway taking on Dustin Poirier in the main event, Kelvin Gastelum and Israel Adesanya, and as far as I know, nobody trains at BTT Canada that's on this card.
God,
so at least AJ doesn't know them, and he could be somewhat impartial when we preview
Glenn, I know Glenn set
card.
you up to this. Glenn, if you're listening, I know you set Dave up to this.
He did not.
I know.
He did not.
Actually, you know what I told Dave? To Glenn,
no one sets me up to anything. It's my show. I choose what to say, AJ.
I don't know. I think
know
Glenn set you up.
You have people telling you what to say.
What?
You have people writing scripts for you. You have people like Muscles Marco sliding you little lines and information. Everything that I say is from me and the top of the dome and what I have prepared myself, AJ. No one's putting me up to anything.
First of all, if Glenn's listen, if Glenn is listening,
what
he needs to get us
Marco?
a sponsor.
I said all I do is look out for my boy. You know, I try to slip
AJ.
in the answers for react.
And that's why I just cut your mic. Thank you very much.
Listen, Glenn looks out for me too.
We're
good
Fred's
friends.
mic is never cut because Fred.
No, he did get cut.
We agree.
Did you get cut one time with
Fred
a baby
doesn't-
thing?
No.
Yeah, wasn't that?
No, Fred never gets cut because Fred is always of sound mind, and we don't always agree, but we do for the most part, and he understands
And you gang up on
logic,
me.
and he's impartial.
And
he
actually-
likes the sport, not particular guys that you say, oh, he's my boy. Oh, I love her. I wish I could be the father of her child. Like you say,
That's Mackenzie Dern, man.
Yeah,
Lay off her.
you say the
Don't
most
be a hater, Dave.
ridiculous stuff.
Don't be a
about
hater.
The most ridiculous fanboy stuff,
What?
and we just have
That's
to be
Mackenzie
clear
Dern.
that the fanboy is
blasphemy.
AJ, and Fred and I.
Blasphemy.
We just
And
like,
if we just
like
look
a good fight.
If we just look on a technical level, I'm capable of controlling my own mic. You know, there's 2 buttons, on and off. And sometimes Dave has to control your mic, and by accident, he puts mine off. And I hate it, just because you're not able to control your own mic.
Look,
there's 2 buttons, man.
listen,
control your own mic.
You know what? It would be awesome. Like I'd love to see Dave try to control my mic, and if Glenn was here, control his mic at the same time. It's almost impossible.
It would be very easy.
Oh, you just completely shut off the whole show.
Just shut you off. There you go. AJ's gone. Fred, it's just you and me. AJ's in the background, but he's not really here. Hello. See? It's very easy, AJ, you see? See how easy that was? You just disappeared from the show.
Dave Simon owes me $20.
I don't, though.
$20.
I don't know. You're back on. Do you not hear your microphone?
Oh, I'm back on. Okay.
You have headphones.
Hey,
How do you not hear that?
Listen, didn't we bet $20?
No.
What did we bet $20 in the future for? Wasn't it the Brock Lesnar fight?
In the future.
I don't know.
I thought it was a fight coming up that we went $20 again.
Maybe. I don't know. I'm sure listeners, members of the universe can tell us.
I think it was the Khabib-McGregor fight.
What did we say? Oh, I picked Khabib in the rematch?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I stand by that.
How come Dave always gets these great bets? I want in.
AJ,
Fred, what do you want?
Fred wants in on that. Johnny North bet me a couple weeks ago that there would be no one inducting people into the Hall of Fame in the WWE. You know that they have the Hall of Fame, and there's always like a person there to do a little speech about the people getting inducted, and then the people inducted do a little speech. Because they had not announced any of the inductors like a week out, Johnny North's like, they're not going to have it. And I was like, I'll bet that they do. And he's like, all right, let's go, $20. And obviously, there were inductors, and I won.
Was that the one with Bret Hart?
Don't bet against me, yeah.
Hey, what happened with that whole scene? I was
some
like,
crazy guy attacked him.
What's
I
that
love
all about?
the Hall of Fame was great, but you can listen about that probably tomorrow on Wrestling Uncensored.
Yeah, that's right.
But he's an
Dave
MMA guy,
Simon
apparently.
And Johnny North.
Thank
You're not
you.
a wrestling guy. Let the job of wrestling talking to the wrestling expert.
No.
That's right.
All right? So Dave
That's
Simon
Glenn.
will be the guy taking care of
Listen,
the wrestling talk.
no, but
And
it was an
also
MMA
the
guy.
MMA and professional wrestling. Wrestling Uncensored will go down tomorrow night. Thank you very much, Fred, for the plug there. Johnny and I with a big Wrestling Uncensored show because WrestleMania just happened, right? We just had WrestleMania this past Sunday.
It was great.
AJ, you were supposed to show up, but you disappeared for some reason. Another AJ
Somebody
mystery.
in the sky.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but some sort of mystery there with AJ.
Easy, boys. Easy.
Now,
What happened? Marco just lost
just
our caller.
did something.
Marco, whoever was listening, call back because Muscles Marco just got rid of you.
So what happened
Marco,
there? Marco,
what the hell?
Whoa. Marco, your mic's back on because you have to explain yourself. Did somebody just call?
Yeah,
to be on
that
the
was
show?
Yoni on the phone.
Yoni,
I'm
call
sorry,
back.
call back, please. I pressed the wrong button and
Are you
I
kidding
accidentally
me?
hung up on him.
You just hanged up
kidding
on
me?
Yoni.
You know what's going to happen? Yoni's going to call back to challenge one of you guys. It's not going to be me, that's for sure.
Challenge Marco.
Why?
Well, he's the one that
no.
hanged up.
I
think we're all.
Yoni, call
I'm
back.
only human.
What's the number
We've
to the
all
show
seen
again?
it here.
Call back 514-790-1690, 514-790-1690. Sorry, Yoni. Marco just hung up on you. He meant to put you on hold, but he doesn't know how to do that, I guess.
Well, he was pretty good up to this point, but he had to hang up on all people, Yoni.
Yeah, we have Yoni, who just fought last night, on the line, and Marco hung
He's
up
back?
on. Thanks, Marco. No, he's not back. Is he
Wait.
back? No, Marco, what are you doing?
Marco's doing a redial.
All right,
you going to call Yoni?
Marco, it's not going to work, man. Just wait for Yoni to call back. Hopefully he does. That's good. So Yoni, unfortunately he didn't take it home last night, and good for Malcolm Gordon. He picked up a nice victory. Charles Jourdain in the main event, a very nice win over Damian Lapilus at TKO 47. Jourdain taking on Lapilus on short notice. It was supposed to be Jesse Ronson instead, but there was a skin infection that Ronson had, and the commission didn't want him to fight. So.
But isn't that weird? Like seriously, a skin infection, and that's enough.
Well,
for
weren't you
to
the
stop?
guy that was critical when they let Gastelum fight with
Yeah,
his...
but that was like a freaking golf ball in the back of his neck.
It's not much different. I mean, it's similar. You got to be constant with your opinion.
No,
on
no,
this.
but it
I think
depends on
Yoni's
the
back.
level.
Fred, help him put him on hold.
I'm not sure.
Oh, there you go. You got
There
him on
we
hold.
go.
Is that Yoni? Do we have Yoni? Yes, we do. All right, our main man, Yoni Sherbatov. Yoni, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm with the family right now watching some funny shows on YouTube.
All right. All right.
Is it one of them, Dave Simon?
If what?
If one of them is Dave Simon, ringsidereport.net, Yoni, on YouTube. We have a channel.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. No, I didn't go on it, but I will go on it next time.
YouTube.com/ringsidereport.net, Yoni. That's the place to be. Yoni.
Yes.
Yoni, how you feeling, man? Last night, it didn't go your way. These things happen in MMA. A fight's a fight. Crazy things happen. Did something go down with your knee or your shoulder? What happened in that takedown? I heard you scream out at the fight last night.
Fight went my way. I was very happy. I was excited. I was pumped. Getting in the octagon, I was just feeling free mentally, physically, emotional. All this was gone. I was just wanted to fight and get the belt. So anyways, fight starts. I thought I got him. He was going on his knee. I was going for the finish. Malcolm did a great come back, grab my body. So we went for wrestling on the cage. He went for a takedown, and I knew I couldn't defend that takedown, so I was going with the flow. But the thing is that he went step sideways, and he brought his knee on the side of my knee, and that's where, when you rotate his body to put me down, my knee popped.
Oh.
Literally, I felt my ligament 2-3 times went tack, tack, tack. I'm like, oh my God, no, not my, and I have, surgeries on my knees, and it's ACL that I already repaired in 2011.
Oh man.
So I said, that thing was going through my mind, and then my leg got stiff on the floor, so I was trying to manage my best way. So I and from the half guard trying to get up, he put his hooks in. He reacted well, and I said, you know what, I'll try to do the fin. Maybe it's 50-50 chance. Jump backwards, knock him out, or get submitted. I said, you know what? I threw the dice, and I got choked out.
That was a wild move there, Yoni, and it's not something you see too often, right? He was kind of standing there, he had his hooks in, he was working the rear naked choke, and then you're like, all right, let's go for it, and just kind of slammed him.
It's something that you don't practice. It's not something that Fabio Landa was very, it's not something we practice at BTT. Jump backwards,
on your head, man, For sure.
Yeah, but you got to try what you got to try, right? When you're in that position, when your knees hurt, when you're stuck,
it's a Hail Mary, man.
What are you going to do? And hey, it could have worked. You never know, right?
Yeah, exactly. Usually, you fight the hands and you try to break the hooks with the feet and you shake him down. But all this is all nice to say. But at that moment, my knee was hurting me, and I said, "Oh, you know what? Let me finish him. If it works, it works." And I lift my hat to him and to his team.
Bravo.
But you know what? I'm not done. I'm still alive. I'm still breathing. Life goes on. And Yoni Sherbatov, Volume 2 is coming even stronger than ever.
Nice. So what's the status on the knee? Did you get it checked out?
The Monday I'm having a prescription. I'm going to go see a doctor, Dr. Fontaine.
Okay.
And then after that, I'll do my get an MRI in the same week. Hopefully get the result the same week. Let's hope it's not ACL rip, just maybe a minor rip or maybe a meniscus. But when it's meniscus, it's repairable and it takes less time.
Right. Wow.
I just don't want to be out for 6 months.
Yeah, for sure. It's tough, man. The fight game is definitely tough, and we wish you the best, Yoni. I hope that you can, I hope this injury isn't too bad, and hope we can see you back in there as soon as possible, man.
Thank you.
And
Yoni,
very much. Last thing, that was exciting. 92 seconds of fighting. I'll tell you that much. The whole place was like on their feet. So, bravo to you.
That kick you landed on him, Yoni, was nasty.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You dropped him with that kick.
Even the first kick to the head, I saw his eyes. I'm like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
I have in control. But
I'm sure.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate the support. Love my fans. Love my people. Love you guys.
Thank you.
TSN 690, man. You guys are amazing.
Ringside Report, Yoni.
That's right.
We'll see you soon, guys.
Thank you, Yoni.
Good job,
At
buddy.
Yoni Sherbatov. Follow him on Twitter. Check him out. Thank you for calling in, Yoni, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Ciao, guys.
Good job, buddy.
Yoni Sherbatov right here live on Ringside Report Radio. That's our buddy, man, giving us a call. It's good to hear from Yoni after a tough night. But, this guy is a real fighter, and he's just looking for that next one. This guy, he knows that these things happen in the fight game, and he's going to be back even stronger next time. Hopefully that injury's not too bad. See what kind of show we have here, boys? We have TKO main eventers just listening in, just calling us at random. That's how Ringside Report Radio goes.
That's the way we roll, buddy. That's the way we roll.
This is the
on them.
What is that, Marco?
And calling back even after I hang up on them accidentally.
Hey, it might not always
Rogan
work,
doesn't
right?
hang up on his guests, but we do. Because we got attitude, man.
I don't think Joe Rogan takes phone calls. Have you ever listened to Joe Rogan's show, AJ?
Joe Rogan listens to us, man.
Okay.
Come on.
It's Ringside Report Radio. We're live on TSN 690. When we come back, we're going to preview UFC 236.
Tootie.
226.
What?
UFC 226 tomorrow night, baby.
Hello, this is Johnny Hendricks, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Jake Shields, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
This is Robbie Lawler, and you're listening to Ringside Report Radio.
We're back. It's Ringside Report Radio. I'm Dave Simon. Fred Garcia's here. AJ DeLesio's here. Marco Muscle's in the house. And AJ.
People don't know how much stress I get when we go on break here.
You
guys,
stressed.
man, I'm like stressing out.
AJ,
yesterday, if I have to cut weight, all you need,
secretive?
forget about going to like saunas to cut weight. Just come on
You
the
a
show.
CIA agent?
So
what?
I mean, like you
My
got
brother
so
does
many
call me
secrets.
FBI.
You got me wondering.
I'm going to tell a little AJ story.
What? Wait, Dave.
No. This is going to happen whether you like it or not.
Easy, Dave.
So yesterday,
what happened yesterday?
AJ put my personal phone number on the internet in a tweet that he says was a mistake. So you
by
did,
his boy Nick, who is it?
Yeah,
I forget.
Some guy who runs some of
Alter
his
ego.
social media. Yeah, AJ we think has alter egos. He said he has a team, but I doubt it. Okay? Now, you did this yesterday, AJ, which was wrong. And you have admitted your wrongdoing. You deleted it after I sent you several text messages saying, AJ, why did you put my cell phone number out on Twitter? What are you thinking? I was not happy about that, okay? So now
I need a lawyer.
I'm contemplating revenge.
What? You can't do that. That's not cool, man.
I'm contemplating
We're homies, man.
Talking about
You're my bros.
Things that I could talk about that last week on the show I told you I didn't, and that you should have commended me for it. Because last week, around...
Give me the transcript. What did I say?
3 in the afternoon... You said, "Hey Dave, I'm in your neighborhood.
Oh,
you want to go to the studio?" And I said, "Well,"
and I was disappointed you didn't go. By the way, Dave, I'm gonna throw a little shame on you.
Why?
Because you had an opportunity to find out things about
Okay,
AJ,
we're gonna get to that,
and you didn't jump.
We're
on
gonna
it.
get to that. So it's 3 in the afternoon. Our show is at 7. I said, "No, AJ, I don't want to lift to the studio. Our show is in 4 hours, so I'm going to stay home for the next 3 hours, and then I'm going to leave."
What a nice guy AJ was. He's going to give me a lift.
A bizarrely early lift for 4 hours before the show. What were we going to do here, waiting 3 hours for the show to start?
I don't know. Play poker.
I think we're going to talk to the passenger in your car. So I said to AJ, "No, AJ." I will make my own way to the studio. Thank you very much. I understand you're near my home, but please don't come to my home at this moment because, I'm doing stuff and I'm not ready to go to the studio because the show's in 4 hours. So AJ says, okay. And then 10 minutes later, I get another text from AJ that says, look outside your window.
When I was hanging out of my car.
And AJ...
Duke's a hazard, man.
Honks his horn, sitting out there right in front of my house. Just sitting there, just showing
What's
up.
so wrong with that?
Showing up unannounced. I look through the window, and I see a lady as your passenger.
I think you were seeing things. That's what I think.
Nope, because she waved at me, and I waved back. And then you saw me, and I waved, and we had a brief exchange. And then I went back in the house, and you went on your way.
Merrily.
And then I got to thinking, because ladies and AJ is always a mystery, right? AJ is a single man as far as we know, but we don't really know. He could be married. He could be, engaged. He could have a girlfriend. He could have several girlfriends. We don't know. He may be homosexual. He may be bisexual.
Trisexual.
We don't know. Pansexual.
What is it called? Those people that have multiple wives. They're like
polygamist.
In
He may be a polygamist.
Exactly. He's a polygamist.
Do I live in Colorado?
That's what I want to think.
Now, I have
what the heck is pan? I want to know what pansexual is.
I have a son. I live with.
He's a cute little guy.
I live with his mother.
Yes.
You know my deal. Fred has a daughter.
Yeah.
He lives with the mother.
And I know his wife,
and he
too.
also has a son. Yeah. You know both of our, And
I know his grandmother now.
And you've been to our homes, and you know the deal, right?
Well, you know Muscles Marco.
Okay. But AJ, we've known you for several years. We don't know anything about you, right? So when we get a little peek into the world.
Yeah, but you scare me how you know this information.
When I see a lady in your passenger seat, I get to thinking, who is that lady? Who is this mystery lady with AJ? And then something struck me. A light bulb went off, and I said, she looked pretty familiar. I think she follows me on Twitter.
What?
It turns out, I think she does, AJ, because when I confronted you with, was that lady this lady who follows me on Twitter? You're like, what? How do you know that? What? So, AJ, just know that I went through all that, and I'm not going to reveal her Twitter handle or anything about that. I'm not going to say her name. I'm not going to do that. But know that it is in my back pocket, and I can,
Marco, pass me the
if I want
Benadryl.
to. But out of respect for her, I'm not going to do that, because any lady involved with AJ probably doesn't want it known publicly on radio. Boom! Roasted.
Forget about the marinara roast. It just should be the AJ roast. That's it.
Too easy.
I'm pulling a sweat here. I can't even talk anymore.
So
AJ, first of all, this is what I want you to, this is what I want you to say. I'm going to feed you lines just like Marco normally does.
What is it, Jeopardy?
Here are your lines.
500.
Dave, I'm sorry for putting your phone number on the internet.
What?
Say that. Give me that.
But
give me that. And thank you.
No buts.
And thank you for not revealing personal details about my life. Give me that now, AJ.
Hold on a second.
Dave, sorry for.
Oh my God, I gotta look.
AJ,
give me a Tylenol.
Oh, maybe I'm gonna pull out my Twitter and give her Twitter handle. Yes?
Dear Dave, last night's show at TKO was awesome.
That's not the you have to say, Dave, I'm sorry for putting your phone number on the internet, and thank you for not revealing sensitive personal information about my life.
Sounds like Revenue Canada here. But
you owe me big time, AJ.
He's gonna eat by the shorty crew.
Yeah.
Fred, how do you like them apples?
I just got TKO'd, man.
I don't want to add any more because, I mean, the only thing I could add is the missing details.
Well, actually,
and I'm not going to be the guy that's going to do that to AJ.
Like, people don't know, but like these
I'm
guys
just surprised AJ has nothing. Like, come on, you got to be able to deflect this, change the subject. You're the king of changing the subject usually. But you're just sticking on it now.
I'm going to do AJ a favor, and I'm going to change the subject for him because I can see him sweating, and I'm starting to smell it, I don't want it to continue.
I think my mother's texting me here.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec.
I got a crazy stat
Who's this girl, Anthony?
I got a crazy stat for you.
Yeah.
Israel Adesanya fought 6 times in the last 14 months.
What?
How many?
7 times in the last 21 months.
That's amazing.
I know. This guy's active right now.
He has won now 5 fights in his UFC career, including a win over the great Anderson Silva in his last fight, and now he's going to fight for kind of Anderson's belt. It's an interim middleweight championship. The middleweight champion, Robert Whittaker, is hurt. He was supposed to fight Kelvin Gastelum a couple of months ago. It didn't happen. So now Gastelum steps in to fight for an interim title against Adesanya. Gastelum is a good wrestler. And I think we've seen Kelvin Gastelum face this type of opponent before. I think Kelvin Gastelum fought this type of guy way back when he fought Uriah Hall to win the Ultimate Fighter in 2013. A taller striker with some really flashy stuff and knockout power. And everybody was very excited about Uriah Hall way back then. I believe in wrestling, though. I'm not so sure about Israel Adesanya. He is the favorite right now, minus 170. Gastelum plus 160.
Yeah, but he beat Silva. Let's not forget.
Yes, he beat Anderson Silva, but I think Anderson Silva was a good style matchup for him. I think this is going to be a tough one for the style bender, Israel Adesanya, because he has not faced yet a grinding wrestler who's got heavy hands who can take him down at will.
Yeah, so
the closest thing he's faced to that is Derek Brunson, and Kelvin Gastelum is several notches above that. Kelvin Gastelum is very solid, and I think is underappreciated by MMA fans as a whole. Kelvin Gastelum is 27 years old only, 15-3. He just beat Jacare. Before that, he knocked out Michael Bisping in like 2.5 minutes. He's got some very big wins on his record.
This is a good fight. I'm going to go the other way. I'm a fan of Israel Adesanya. I'm sold on him. The guy's exciting. Seems to be like a freak athlete. Yes, he has everything you said about the wrestling aspect is true. He hasn't been tested as far as the wrestling at a level of a Gastelum. But look, it's a fan pick here. I'm going to go with Adesanya. I hope he continues to
fanboy Freddie.
Well, no, but he's absolutely right.
If he loses, I'm not going to make any excuses. That's the difference between me and AJ.
No, Fred. Listen,
I'm able to.
You're saying what everybody's saying is like he's got the aura. Israel's got that aura. He's got that presence. He's got that Anderson Silva like mystique. And the only thing that's really stopping him from being a champion right now is like the takedowns. If he's able to stop Gastelum on the takedowns and be able to beat him, then this guy deserves to be the champion.
I'm in awe with his athleticism.
He's
awesome.
Anderson
Silva, I'll go more towards John Jones to compare.
Yeah.
But John Jones didn't like when people compared that this week. He had some good trash talk for Israel, saying that he struggled against Anderson. You know,
he did.
Barely defeated Anderson.
He did. He barely defeated a way past his prime Anderson Silva. And if this guy is supposed to be the next king of the middleweight division, I would have expected him to stop Anderson Silva, and he did not. I am not sold like you guys are on Israel Adesanya. He's good. He's a very good fighter, but I think Gastelum is better, and I'm going to go with Gastelum to win the fight tomorrow night.
Fair enough.
He's the underdog.
He is the underdog for sure.
How about the main event? Max Holloway, blessed. The 145-pound champion moving up to 155 to rematch with Dustin Poirier. This one for the interim lightweight championship. Interim because the champion, Khabib, is still off due to suspension and probably won't fight again till November or December of this year. So, we have this fight to crown a, in the meantime, champion. They call it interim. I call it intercontinental. This is the intercontinental.
I like the in the meantime.
Yeah, it's the in the meantime lightweight champion. You'll be the champion for now until Khabib comes back, and then if Conor's going to fight Khabib, we will strip you of this belt that you will win tomorrow night. So, this is just a belt for UFC 236. It's, for now.
Yeah, you're right. It should be an intercontinental belt, and that's the way it should.
It's not a real belt, man.
It's too bad.
Like, whoever wins this will not fight Khabib. Okay?
Well, maybe.
I'll bet.
You know what?
Want to make bets? Let's make some bets. Dustin Poirier or Max Holloway, whoever wins this, ain't fighting Khabib. Because Conor McGregor this week said, I had a broken foot when I fought Khabib. I wasn't 100%. And then all the Conor McGregor fans went, wait a second. Conor wasn't 100%. How could you fight 100% if you have a broken foot? There's no way anybody could fight 100% with a broken foot. Conor needs a rematch. Let's go. Let's have him fight Khabib. And then I was like, but didn't Kamaru Usman just beat Tyron Woodley with a broken foot? Didn't that just happen? However, I will not underplay the pain of broken feet because I broke a foot one time and it was terrible. I didn't walk for like 5 weeks.
From what? Slipping down the stairs? What?
I slipped on a sweaty mat. Like while warming up, I was doing like side, and I just kind of like the mat was real sweaty. Sometimes jiu-jitsu, the mat's sweaty, and you just kinda,
what?
Yeah. It happened.
That's the first time I've ever heard that.
Years ago, I just broke a thing. It happens.
Okay.
It happens. It was all right. I healed.
Look,
I survived. I'm stronger now.
You're still sweaty, but that's okay. But I was going to say, you know what?
I thought you were the sweaty guy.
I was sweaty like 10 minutes ago. I was sweating like you wouldn't believe.
I'm getting pretty worked up here.
Hey?
Yeah, this Max Holloway, Dustin Poirier fight's got me all energized.
That's going to be an awesome fight.
This is a great fight. Max Holloway is one of the most exciting fighters in all of the UFC, and these guys fought
7 years ago.
Man, that's crazy.
7 years ago, my friend. But look, why are we not giving some kudos to Dustin Poirier? I mean, this guy, he's really...
He beat Eddie Alvarez. He beat Justin Gaethje. He beat Anthony Pettis. All in a row. I mean, that is a serious climb to the top. You beat 2 former champions and Justin Gaethje, and we know Gaethje's still great. He looked great knocking out Barbosa a couple weeks ago.
Right.
Gaethje's still one of the top lightweights in the game, and Dustin Poirier stopped him. Not many people can stop Justin Gaethje. Poirier is
he's underrated, unfortunately.
Legit. He's very, very good.
This is an incredible main event, and I kind of agree with you when you say the winner's not going to fight Khabib because Khabib is probably going to fight Conor, unfortunately.
Why unfortunately?
But let's say Conor, for whatever reason, gets arrested or whatever.
Yeah, he's under investigation in like 3 states and his home country.
I'm not counting on Conor to be available right now. So if he's not available, who are the other options for Khabib?
GSP.
Yeah, that we support Khabib with him wanting to fight GSP.
Khabib versus George, you got to do it.
But in recent days, I've seen like Tony Ferguson come back out. I'm not too crazy about that idea with all the stories that were about him recently. Like,
not only that, but like they've tried to make the fight four
also,
or
but
five
let's
times.
make sure Tony Ferguson is in good health, and after that, well, why not the winner of Holloway and Poirier? So I'm not going to completely dismiss that the winner of Holloway and Poirier won't have a chance to fight Khabib. I still think it's a possibility.
It's a possibility because the winner of this fight's going to be an interim champion, but it's highly unlikely. Like, I don't think the winner of this fight gets Khabib. I think Conor's probably going to get Khabib next. Conor seems to be talking a load of trash against Khabib. Khabib's going back and doing the same. Conor's already making excuses saying he had a broken foot last time. I think Conor and Khabib is going to go down towards the end of the year, and if Conor is unavailable, I believe that they'll try and get George to fight Khabib. Why not?
Well, that's what George wanted, right? And we keep going to that all the time.
Picture yourself, you're the UFC, and you don't have Conor McGregor. All of a sudden, you need a pay-per-view draw.
And George is the man.
They don't have Conor. They're going to need something.
Look, George would have not retired if he got what he wanted. And we all know that, right?
And I'm going to throw something completely out of the discussion here. Let's say Brock Lesnar defeats Daniel Cormier. You're not going to tell me Brock Lesnar is going to be fighting full time, you know? So,
no.
Like, if Brock Lesnar could get a title shot, why not George?
I think, though, if Brock Lesnar does beat Daniel Cormier, he will fight again. I think he'll fight again.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Fred,
Dave.
I'll tell you this, because let's be honest here. We watch a lot of fights. What's more likely to happen? George beating Khabib and then walking away? Or Brock beating DC and then walking away? I think we'd both pick George to beat Khabib, and we'd both pick DC to beat Brock, right?
Probably, yeah.
So,
but I don't think that fight's ever going to happen with Brock. I mean, like we were just talking earlier, and Dana White was saying he wants to see the fight again with Stipe. So I think that's what's really realistically going to happen. And I go back to what I was saying earlier. I think what's going to really happen is Khabib is going to fight Holloway. I think Holloway will beat Poirier tomorrow, and that's the fight that's realistically going to happen.
Here's what I want to know about this fight, and what I can't quite reconcile. I think Max Holloway's going to win tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time they fought, Dustin Poirier tooled him and finished him in the first round with a mounted triangle.
Yeah, but that
is a tooling. That is a smashing of Max Holloway. And Max Holloway's never fought at 155 pounds. Of course, this is a different Max.
Yeah, but Max is a white belt in jiu-jitsu at that time.
The Max back then was 27. Yeah. He's 27 years old now, and we're talking about what?
20 years old. So
it's a totally different guy, but
it's a different game. He has 7 years of grappling experience, training with the best in the world. And look, Max is both a great grappler and a great stand-up guy. So it's 7 years difference. And I'm not taking it away from Poirier. Poirier is amazing. I love this guy. I remember him fighting in the backwoods of, I forgot, Kentucky or Alabama.
Sure.
And he's made his way up to where he is today. If Holloway wasn't there, Poirier would be a champ, man.
He's from Louisiana.
Yeah, but I remember it was
Kentucky
from the backwoods.
or Alabama.
Talk about Alabama.
Don't disrespect those people.
generalize.
I'm not generalizing. I'm just saying you got to give this guy credit. He came from small, all of them, but he never gave up. He hasn't.
I think most MMA fighters that reach a top level never gave up and got through adversity.
Look, what I'm saying, some guys
You're
get.
Not saying
no,
much.
no, yes, I am, because some guys get through based on their name or their coaches.
We
or
need
their
to find a
teams.
music that goes with AJ.
Some guys get
just saying.
No, man.
We need to start playing him out.
Look,
we're just going to start playing you out.
Listen,
AJ.
guys. Some guys
Can I
get
fade
an easy.
his mic. We'll
some
just
guys
fade him. There he is. He's gone. I just faded your mic out.
I'm coming over to the studio. Okay, there you go. You know I was coming over.
Right,
but listen, hear me out.
I got Max Holloway to win. I think he's much better.
So do I.
But I think this fight could go either way. And I wouldn't be surprised if Dustin Poirier came out victorious because he's still in the zone. He's still in his prime. And he's been winning big fights left and right.
Because he hasn't got any easy fights, Dave. Come on. Through his career. That's what I was trying to get at.
Period.
Yeah, but neither has Max Holloway. Max Holloway's been a reigning defending champion for several years, beating Jose Aldo, beating
Brian
Ortega. Holloway has looked incredible. Both these guys are on such a run. It's tough to pick because they both seem unstoppable right now. That's why I think we are primed for a tremendous main event tomorrow. The fight is going to be sick, and I know this isn't a Vegas card. This isn't a New York card. They're in Atlanta tomorrow night. It's one of these off-brand pay-per-views. You know, this isn't the Super McGregor fights or the John Jones. This isn't one of those big super cards. But this fight is going to be a barn burner, a slobber knocker. This is going to be a tremendous fight. And I'm going to go with Max Holloway to win. And I think he winds up finishing Poirier in like the 4th or 5th.
Finishing.
I think these guys by TKO. I think he's gonna finish him. He's gonna pound him out, and he's just gonna outlast Dustin Poirier. He's gonna outpace him, and that's how Holloway wins. However, man, I could see it going any single way. That's what's great about the fight game. Sometimes in fights, crazy things happen. You never know what's going to happen. Anything's possible.
Look, I'll tell you one thing. Holloway's last fight was a masterpiece.
You're going to pick.
No, for sure. Look, Holloway's last fight was a masterpiece. To beat Ortega, I thought Ortega was going to be the future champ. He has everything. And to beat Ortega the way he did Holloway was unbelievable. Now, the thing is that if he's able to beat Poirier the same way, man, this guy is going to be the greatest fighter of all time. Do I think he can do it? He beat Ortega. I think Ortega has better skills than Poirier, and I like Poirier, so my pick is going towards Holloway.
All right. I got Holloway. AJ's got Holloway. Freddie?
I got Holloway also, but like you said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes the other way. Both guys right now are much better than the first time they fought. And I just got to say, I'm not sure what you got against the ATL. Atlanta supposedly is a very beautiful city.
Yeah, Dave, what's your problem, Dave? Don't be a hater.
From what I understand.
Dave.
Whoa, that's racist, I think. Don't do that.
Roll Tide.
That's the Atlanta Braves.
No, I'm singing that song
That's
there.
Alabama. No, I understand.
Hey, Eric Anders is on the card.
Look, I love Atlanta, okay? I'm not taking anything away from Atlanta. I'm one of the biggest Outkast fans, I think, in the world. Okay? I love TLC.
Do you like the Braves?
Organized Noise. I mean, I grew up an Expos fan, and they pounded us all the time. But I was a big Greg Maddux fan, and I met him at a UFC event in Vegas.
Wow.
Which was very cool, meeting Greg Maddux. I was like, whoa, it's Greg Maddux. I love this guy. So, yeah, I like Atlanta. But, Fred, I'm not dissing Atlanta. I'm just saying that it's not a super card from the UFC. It's not in Vegas or New York, right? And
it's a great card, too.
It's a great...
Two good main events.
Fred.
And you get mad at me, eh?
It's double interim belts. We don't even have a real belt on the line, brother.
It's 2 matchups I want to see.
Yeah, what else do you want to see on this card?
Eric Anders, our buddy. Come on, guys.
What else?
Roll Tide.
Yeah, Eric Anders for sure. He's been on the show, friend of the show. We like Eric Anders out in Alabama. This is the fight he wanted.
And there's Al Capone.
He wanted to fight in Atlanta. He's fighting Khalil Roundtree. That's a good one.
Hey, who are you going with?
Nikita Krylov, the Al Capone.
The Al Capone.
I'll go with Eric Anders in the Anders fight. Krylov and OSP is a really good fight. Yeah, that's a great nickname. The Al Capone, Nikita Krylov.
Can I be like the John Gotti or the
Yeah,
Ricky
I think
Luciano?
you can be. Yeah.
I told you, Freddie Freeze, man. You can't get any better than that.
That's
right muscles.
Terrible.
Yeah.
See, Marco knows. You guys, what do you know, man?
I want to be
You're
El
from the South
Freddy.
Shore.
You know, there's El Chapo, so I'll be El Freddy.
Freddy.
That could be good. Yeah, I could live with that.
That's not bad.
Alfredo.
All right. Anything else on this card you guys excited about? OSP Nikita Krylov is a good fight. Any prelims to pay attention to? Wilson Hayes, Alexander Pantoja. That's a good fight right there. Brandon Davis, Randy Costa. You know where the UFC is next week? Tomorrow they're in Atlanta. You know where they are tomorrow? Or next week, rather. St. Petersburg, Russia. Nice. How do you like them apples? St. Petersburg, Russia. Alistair Overeem and Alexei Olenek is the main event next week. That's a good heavyweight main event, boys.
Alistair, yeah, that's going to be awesome.
The Reem and Olenek next week. So tomorrow we've got UFC 236. And then next week we'll preview the UFC going to Russia. In a few weeks' time, man, did you guys hear about this July 6th card that the UFC's putting together on International Fight Week? Incredible. UFC 239. When I talk about super cards, when I talk about these packed events with all the big stars, this is what we're talking about. Like, tomorrow night is a good pay-per-view, but UFC 239 is an incredible pay-per-view.
Yep.
John Jones is going to defend against Thiago Santos in the main event for the light heavyweight title. Amanda Nunes defending her bantamweight championship against Holly Holm in the co-main event.
That's going to be good.
And then Ben Askren, also on the card, fighting George Masvidal, and Junior Dos Santos against Francis Ngannou in a battle of two of the hardest-hitting heavyweights that have ever been in the UFC. Those fights alone
What about my boy?
are making that card. How incredible is that card?
What about my boy that's on it?
You have so many boys. You're a fan of so many people. I don't even know who you're
The
talking
one that
about.
I called the future champ back in the days, Luke Rockhold,
we
man.
were talking about
Luke
his
is back.
polygamy earlier, so he has all these boys.
Luke Rockhold, man. Mr. Aqua Velva commercial. I don't know what he's doing. Some
Who's he
commercial on
fighting?
television. Jan Blachowicz.
Oh, you saw what Anthony Smith trash talked on
What was that all about?
I don't know, but I want to see now.
Yeah,
Anthony
he's trash
Smith
talking.
just like completely. I forget the quote, but he went hard
Yeah,
on Luke Rockhold.
He says he'll knock out like Luke on a bad day. So there's some bad blood going on.
Interesting. All right, so
Made fun of his commercial too, I think.
That's coming up in the UFC. UFC announcing a bunch of new fights, including June the... where is it? June the 9th, or the 29th. Yeah, June 29th, UFC on ESPN. Tyron Woodley and Robbie Lawler are going to do it again. So Lawler not fighting Askren. Woodley, after losing the title to Kamaru Usman, he's going to fight the guy that he beat for the title, Robbie Lawler. Of course, Woodley knocked him out last time they fought.
And you mentioned ESPN. I just want to come back quickly on a discussion from a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
ESPN Plus is offering, like, if you subscribe to ESPN Plus for $5, you're getting the UFC pay-per-view for half price this weekend. So,
that's really?
Cool. See, they're doing some good deals right now with that. So
that's a good deal.
I still have confidence in
But that's
ESPN
just for the American fans,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Here, you still have to pay full price for the pay-per-view.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't have to...
How come we don't have this ESPN Plus deal? Could we sign up for ESPN Plus and buy the pay-per-view online through the streaming service?
I mean, if you have something like a VPN, probably.
I don't know.
What?
Let's not talk about that.
Can't talk about that.
I don't think we can say I don't even think the letters VPN can be put together on the radio. I think that's illegal.
Oh,
isn't it? I don't know. Isn't it?
Well, I could say CRTC,
you know what's illegal?
But I can't say VPN.
You know what? You know what letters are illegal?
What?
EPO.
Apple.
TJ Dillashaw was caught using injectable EPO, which is like the stuff that the Tour de France people are using. Like, that's the real intense stuff. It enhances your red blood cells or something, more oxygen in your blood. It enhances your performance in a major way, and the bantamweight champion of the UFC was caught using EPO and has been suspended for 2 years. Goodbye to TJ Dillashaw. He put out an Instagram statement apologizing.
Well, when he came out with the statement, you could feel like because he came out with a statement before we knew that it was EPO, and you could just feel like he knew he was out for a while. So.
Yeah, he knew he was in big old trouble, and he is in a lot of trouble.
Are we going to see the same TJ Dillashaw when he's back? That's the question to ask.
I doubt that strongly.
And if he's not the same guy, do we put in question everything he's done?
Well, he'll be back January 18th, 2021. That's his return date. But
I feel that a guy who gets caught using EPO should have every accomplishment he's ever had put into question. He's been caught being a serious cheater. This guy seriously cheated himself, his sport, and his partners, and his teammates, and his opponents.
Yeah, wasn't it Cody that called him out?
Also, from what I read, it's pretty much impossible for his nutritionist and trainer not to notice something like that.
Well, listen, did you ever see that?
You got to be a very incompetent nutritionist and personal trainer if you don't notice.
Yeah, but these are injections. These are injections,
I understand.
So what? Who blames the nutritionist or trainer?
I'm just saying I
blame the athlete for not putting the right thing in their body.
Yeah, but did you ever see that movie Icarus? All about like this. I think it was the EPO.
It's pronounced Icarus, but yes.
Icarus, yeah, whatever. But like that whole thing was the same thing.
It?
Absolutely, I thought it was amazing
on Netflix.
On Netflix. So
if
when it
we
comes
had
down
time,
to,
I would want to question him to see if he really seen it because I don't.
No,
believe
I seen it, and
I don't.
Listen. When it comes down to this, is that look, TJ cheated.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's many other guys out there that are doing the same thing, so they haven't been caught yet.
Yeah.
So you know what?
TJ just got caught. He can't be the only UFC fighter using EPO, but He got caught, and he's going to face a lot of criticism and backlash over it. And that's what happens when you cheat at sports.
So there you go.
That's what happens.
Clean sport, man.
Don't cheat at sports.
Like George.
That's right. Ringside Report Radio, ringsidereport.net is the website. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ringside Report, DOTNET, youtube.com/ringsidereport.net. I'll be back here tomorrow night at, I guess, 7, because the Habs are done, right? No more Habs?
No Habs.
So, Wrestling Uncensored here tomorrow night, 7 p.m., I think.
7 p.m.,
I don't know. Ask Johnny North. Follow Johnny North on Twitter at North Genesis. Ask him what time we're on tomorrow night. I don't even know anymore. Whatever.
What happened there? Music's going on and off.
It's called
there?
letting the beat drop, AJ.
Vanilla Ice it ain't, that's for sure. Hey, listen, Dave.
Follow AJ on Twitter and Instagram at Danny Brook. Follow Marco at Marco Muscles. Follow Fred at Freddie MMA. AJ what? Follow me at Dave Simon MMA on Instagram and Twitter. Can't you hear the music? That means the show's over. We're overtime. What do you want?
I was going to say, don't forget a shout-out to Wally, who's coming in from Ireland next week to our show.
Yeah, Wally and Antoinette will be here, and Amy. Wally and Amy from Ireland, and then Antoinette from Toronto. They're all going to be here in studio. Next week, we're going to have a Ringside Report party next week.
None of them
live.
were in the AJ Scar.
What?
Yeah. Woo!